Have you ever felt like the world is just too loud? Like you're the only one who needs to turn off the music in the car just so you can think straight? Well, if that sounds like you are in exactly the right place. We're about to dive into the fascinating psychology of why some people prefer silence.
Okay, let's just jump right in with this pretty powerful idea. It's a bold claim, isn't it? The idea that craving silence isn't some weird quirk, but it might actually be a sign that your brain is working on another level. So, what does that actually mean? Well, let's unpack it.
If this is you, it can feel kind of isolating sometimes, right? You might be that person in the office who has to take their headphones off to actually concentrate, or the one who drives home in total silence just to process the day. In a world of constant noise and stimulation, it can definitely make you feel a little unusual.
So, does this hit home? That deep need to just kill all the external noise, not because you're tired, but because you actually need to think, to solve a problem, get a creative idea, or just hear yourself? If you're nodding along right now, what we're about to get into might just be a game changer for you. All right, let's tackle the big misunderstanding head on. People who love quiet often get slapped with some pretty unfair labels. They're seen as boring or maybe too intense or even antisocial. But what if that whole perception is just completely wrong?
This is where we completely flip the script. What the world might see as boring is actually a mind with high intrinsic stimulation. What looks intense is really a low arousal preference. And what comes off as antisocial? Nope, that's just someone fiercely protecting their focus. So what on earth do these terms mean? Let's break them down.
So yeah, let's get into the science of it all, because this isn't just a personality thing. It's about how your brain is literally wired to focus. We're talking about a brain that basically knows how to throw its own party. First up is low arousal preference. All this really means is that your brain doesn't need a whole lot of chaos from the outside world, loud music, constant chatter, to get into the zone. Its natural baseline for alertness is already humming along nicely. Piling on more noise just pushes it past that sweet spot and straight into overload. And this connects perfectly to intrinsic stimulation. Your brain doesn't need much from the outside because it's already having a blast on the inside. It's busy making its own fun, connecting dots, exploring ideas, and just diving deep into thought. Okay, let's reframe this whole thing with one simple but really powerful metaphor. It's not that you're boring. It's that your mind is already at a party, and it's a great one too, full of fascinating ideas and cool connections. You wouldn't walk into a party with great music and then blast another stereo over it, would you? Of course not. You don't need the extra noise when your mind is already buzzing. Now, we can take this even one step deeper. There's a specific network in your brain that absolutely thrives in this quiet space. Some people even call it the genius zone. It's your default mode network. See, for a brain that's high in that intrinsic stimulation we talked about, external noise isn't just a little annoyance you can ignore. It's a fundamental disruption. It literally interrupts the delicate, complex work that's happening inside that default mode network. Just look at how this plays out. When you're in silence, that default mode network is firing on all cylinders. You're having breakthroughs, connecting ideas, then bam! External noise gets introduced. A notification, music, someone talking, and just like that, the genius zone is disrupted. Your brain is forced to switch from that deep internal work to processing the noise. And poof, those intricate thought patterns are gone. And all of this leads to a really profound psychological truth about what this preference for silence is all about. You don't need all that distraction because you aren't running from your thoughts. I mean, think about it. A lot of people use constant noise to drown out their own inner world. But if you're someone who seeks out silence, it's often a sign that you are genuinely comfortable in your own head. You're not trying to escape your thoughts, you're actively trying to listen to them. So, as we start to bring this all together, let's totally reframe this trait. This isn't some social defect or a personal flaw. When you understand the architecture of your quiet mind, you realize it's actually a kind of superpower for deep, meaningful thought.
So here's what I want you to take away from this. Your preference for silence, it's not a flaw, it's a feature. It's a huge signpost that your mind is buzzing with its own energy. When you seek out that quiet, what you're really doing is protecting that incredibly valuable default mode network. And most importantly for you, silence isn't empty. It's the very space where your best thinking comes to life.
So I'll just leave you with this. The next time you turn down the noise and sink into that beautiful quiet, don't think for a second that you're missing out. Instead, ask yourself this: what great idea is this silence making room for? Thanks for exploring this with me.